This is the very first video for the brand new YouTube channel, Good News with Nanny Nicole, and I'm Nanny Nicole. All right, so today what I want to talk to you guys about is gifts. God has given all of us these beautiful gifts that we can use to glorify Him and to bless the people in our lives. Do you know what this is? It's a turtle, right? But it's made out of wood. Did you know that Jesus was a carpenter? And you know what a carpenter is someone who builds things with their hands made out of wood. Now for me, I don't know about you, but the first thing that I think about is a table. And I think it's so beautiful that Jesus was a carpenter and He most definitely built tables for people. What do you do at a table? You gather, right? You spend time as a family. You eat with one another. Maybe you play board games. Maybe you have cards and maybe you want to do makeup, or maybe there's so many things that you can do at a table. Right now I'm sitting at a table that is made of wood and I am making a video. So I'm so grateful for tables. But I think about tables because in the Bible it talks about that there is a table that our Father has prepared for us. It's a beautiful feast. I want you to take a second with me right now. Just close your eyes and I want you to imagine that table. On that table is every single person's favorite food ever. So I like macarons. I think they're amazing cookies, right? They have the cream filling and the crunch, and they're just so sweet, but not too sweet. So I believe that there's macarons on that table. Or maybe you like meat. You like to eat bacon, steak, burgers, hot dogs. The more meat, the merrier. There's all kinds of meat on that table. Maybe you got a sweet tooth and you like ice cream or cheesecake, or you just think about one of your favorite foods and the whole table is covered with all of our favorite foods ever. See, Jesus represents the Father, and the Father is welcoming. He is loving, and He's always inviting us into this beautiful relationship. That is who He is. And guess what? That's what we get to show the world around us. That's what we get to show our family, our friends. When we go to school, we get to show our friends at school. And so I wanted to read something to you. This is from a beautiful, beautiful book. I want to show you the cover. This book is by Sally Lloyd Jones, and it is called Thoughts to Make Your Heart Sing. I love the illustrations. They're so bright and colorful. And if you couldn't tell, I like color. Okay, this is called Sing Your Song. The whole world is singing a song. Have you heard it? The wind is whispering it in the trees. The rain is dancing it on the rooftops. The whole of creation is singing it out together. God loves us. He made us. He's very, very pleased with us. It's the song that's been sung since the beginning. The song God created everything in His world to sing. It's the song without words. It's the song you were created to sing too. Now, at the beginning of the video, I had mentioned gifts, right? Now some of you are like, oh, like Christmas presents? Kind of. The gifts that God has given us are kind of like Christmas presents, but we get to have them every single day. Now this is from Psalm 100, verse 1 through 3. Shout with joy, woohoo! Shout with joy to the Lord, all the earth. Come before, singing with joy. He made us, and we are His. He made us, and we are His. Now, there's a part where it talks about, let me go back to it. God loves us. He made us. He's very pleased with us. That makes me think of when Jesus was baptized. when Jesus was baptized by John. So I'm going to show you the pictures, the illustrations. They're so beautiful. Look at the vibrant colors. There's people walking through a beautiful sunset. Just wonderful, wonderful book. And just to remind you, this is again Sally Lloyd Jones and Hago. I don't know how to say that. And it's Thoughts to Make Your Heart Sing. So it's a very, very beautiful book. Okay, now let's get back to talking about Jesus, right? So he was a carpenter, right? Made things out of wood. And later on, I'm going to paint this. Okay, Jesus was a carpenter, right? Made things out of wood. And we were also talking about how he was baptized, right? And when he was baptized, something incredible happened. The heavens split open. And the Father, God, spoke from heaven and said, This is my beloved Son. I am so pleased with him. Do you know what? That story hasn't changed. That's the same story for our lives. Remember, we just read that the psalm that our Father is singing over us is He loves us. He's so pleased with us. But did you know that in that scene with Jesus being baptized, that he hadn't done anything yet? He hadn't performed a miracle. He hadn't started his ministry. In fact, he was just about to go and be tempted by the devil in the wilderness. Isn't that wild? That the Father opened up, something else happened. So the heavens opened up and the Father said, This is my Son. He is mine. I love him with all of my heart. I am so pleased with him. And then a dove came down from heaven and rested on his shoulder. And it was just a beautiful delight for the world to see and to realize, oh my goodness, this is the Son of God. We are with the Son of God. And some people believed and some people didn't. That's people's choice, right? God has given us free choice. Now, I want to read this. This is from the Bible. How many of you guys have a Bible? Oh my goodness. I really like this one. This is the Passion Translation. So this is 1 Peter 4 verse 10. Every believer has received grace gifts, so use them to serve one another as faithful stewards of the many-colored tapestry of God's grace. Isn't that beautiful? So use them to serve one another as faithful stewards of the many-colored tapestry of God's grace. There's that color word again. He is not boring. God is not boring at all. And the colored tapestry is, there's so many gifts in this world that we have available to us and that God has given us. Now, sometimes what happens is we think that we find out who we are because of how good we are at something that we do. That's not true. Remember that your Father is pleased with you. In fact, from the very foundations of the world, from the very beginning, back in Genesis, right? That's where we can find that story. He made everything, and after he made it, he said it was good. And then when he got done making man and woman, he said, this is very good. And do you know what he did after that? He took the seventh day to rest. So if God needs to rest, how much more do we need to rest, right? So be like Jesus and take a nap, right? Because in that moment where there was a storm happening, what was Jesus doing? He was asleep on a pillow, just totally peaceful, right? It wasn't that he didn't care. It was he knew his Father. He knew his Father was good and he could trust him. And so right now, in this time in the world, guys, we are in a storm, right? But guess what? The same power that raised Christ from the dead is inside of us. Christ, the hope of glory, is inside of us. And so we can release that same peace, that same calm. Maybe we just need to take a nap in these times where we're having anger, or we're having fear, or we're having sadness. We're having all of this like a tornado of emotions and thoughts swirling in our head. It's okay that that's happening. There's nothing wrong with emotions. There's nothing wrong with having thoughts. What you do with it is what matters. What we do with it is what matters. And we have a loving Father who has set a beautiful feast before us that wants us to feast with Him and to rest with Him. So guys, just to recap, we have these beautiful gifts that God has given us that we can release into the world. Okay, let's think of some examples of gifts, and maybe you can think of them too. As you're watching this with your parent or guardian, maybe you can say, oh, I think I have a gift of singing, or I think I have a gift of creating, building with Legos. I think I have a gift of writing. I think I have a gift of, I'm really good at my video games and I have fun with my friends playing video games. You know, there's people, guys, girls, there's people who get paid to play video games. I know, isn't that crazy? That's so cool. And they get to be paid to design video games, to come up with the brilliant ideas. There's brilliant minds all over the world. Maybe you have a gift of the medical field, and you have inside of you a cure for the whole world to receive. Who knows? But remember, you don't find who you are, you don't find your value or acceptance by your gift. You find your acceptance by knowing that you're a son or daughter of God, and that you are His and He loves you with everything inside of Him. That's where your acceptance is. Now, later, I'm going to paint this, and I'm going to post a picture because it's going to take too long to paint this on here. But that's something that God's been showing me, is I have a gift of art. I have a gift of creativity. That's why I'm able to make these videos, and that's why I enjoy to paint things. I'm going to paint this for my mom. You don't have to have just one gift. You can have multiple gifts, and that's totally okay. And it's just a gift, right? And what do? You open up gifts and you enjoy them. So tonight, when you go to bed, before you go to sleep, I want you to ask your daddy, your father, Dad, what gifts are inside of me that I don't know about yet? And how can I be a good steward? And a steward is someone who takes something that's been given to them and finds out ways to bless the world, finds out ways to bless their family, finds ways to bless their God, their holy Papa, and just go with it. Maybe there's a challenge that your family needs to go through of finding gifts together and bringing them together and releasing it to the world in some beautiful way. So I pray for you guys all of the time, and I'm thankful that you guys have joined me today. I know that this is a really different time in the world, and I know that there's a lot of emotions and there's a lot of things going on, and maybe you're getting bored of just being at home and you're wanting to play on playgrounds, or maybe there's things that have happened where mom or dad has lost their job or someone's sick. I know there's a lot going on right now, but I want you to know you're not alone. Everything that we ever go through, whether it is so amazing and so good or maybe not so good, our Father is always with us, going through it with us. Now that's good news. And I hope that you've really enjoyed this time. and that you'll continue to join me. So if you will, hit that subscribe button, give a thumbs up, favorite this video, whatever you want to do, and make sure to share because we need good news right now, right? All right, guys. Mwah. Nanny Nicole loves you, and I hope to see you next time.